Well, welcome to Stencils and Such. Now, every month we bring you at least 2 new stencils, as we have here, and lots of techniques for using them. And with stencils, it's just such an exploration of techniques and products and fun things to be able to make. Now, we're going to be using the Hydrangea, and you can do something like this. Oh, wow, do you see that flash of gold? I'll tell you about that. We're also going to be using the butterflies. This is called Flutters. And you could do something like this, which has its own sparkling center. We'd love it if you would please come play with us. I do want to tell you that Lene and Debbie have been busy creating wonderful things. The blue hydrangea, now it's called blue hydrangea because it was part of a set with papers and things, but we decided to use the stencil by itself. You can see it has the hydrangea and then the leaves and stems separately. And this measures about 5 by 8 inches. But you can use this on a smaller card, as I just showed you. That's going to be our first one. Then the next one, as I said, Flutters, and you can just see all of those butterflies, 4 of them with the detail, and then some that are just silhouettes. And we'll do that second. So let me just scoot these over, and let me bring in our first card. And there we go. You can see how, now this is a, let's see, this card is 5 by 6. So even though this is much larger, you can see how it's going to work together nicely. And what I love about this, of course, is just there's many things going on. To begin with, there are some layers. The leaves are on one layer. This middle section of hydrangea is separate from the pieces down here. Now you will need a craft mat because you really want that to protect your surface. So I'm going to put mine out. And what Debbie used on this was wildflower and wildlife 6 by 6 papers. And let me show you. She also used, there is a companion to this of wildflowers and wildlife solid colors, so you can see this. So she took her 5 by 6 card and covered it with the solid cardstock, you can see. Then she took, I'm going to start with the bottom layer, and that is this one. It is a teal dot. So on one side it has these flowers and it has a piece of wildlife, a little raccoon down there, but we're going to be using this piece. And what she did is to position just the hydrangea part onto the top part of her paper. And what I'm going to do is use my low-tack tape. Let me find the opening. Come on, where are you? Oh, goodness. There it is. By the way, if you have a subscription, you got a roll of this when you got your stencils, so that's nice, but we did add it to the money saver, so anyone can get these. Okay, now you do want pieces to hold your paper or your cardstock down, and then also to hold your hydrangea. Now the hydrangea could have gone this way, but Debbie decided she wanted to turn it this way, and as I said, she wanted it positioned on the top kind of right-hand area of her paper. So I'm just going to do the same thing. And she is using inks to go on this, and she has used, of course, with hydrangeas, violet is an excellent color, and this is the color that she used. This is our Hunky Dory Prism dye-based ink pads, and she used a blending tool like this, not a blending brush, but a blending tool. And then she just went all over. So depending on how juicy your ink pad is, you can just see how that's going to go. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing. My purpose here is just to explain the techniques and to give you a brief demo of each one. But what I see so often with stencils, also I see this in stamping, is that they use white cardstock. Now that's perfectly fine, but I think you're going to get more depth if you consider using patterned cardstock. Now let me show you how this is going to look. I'm not going to lift the whole thing up, but just a bit of it so that you can see, and I want to make sure I've been stenciling correctly, Okay, look at that. And you can see that green dot, that teal dot behind it. And that's what I love. I think it just looks so great. Now, I'm going to lift this off. I'm going to, normally I would just clean it off with a baby wipe, but I have some water over here. And I'm just going to tuck it in there so it can get get the ink off of it. But you would do that to the whole hydrangea. And then you could cut this down and glue it to the front of your card. Now, the other thing that she did is she used some metallic wax. Now, this is a new product for us. It came from Hunky Dory. And there are 3 colors, gold, silver, and copper. But what she did is she waited for that to dry a bit, and I'm not sure that I waited long enough, but she used this on the edges of the hydrangea. So she just kind of spread it like this to go around the edge of the hydrangea. Now we're going to need to get in closer so that you can see. Now in person, I can really, oh, there you go. I think you can see that. Let me lift this up so that I think you can get even a better look at it. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, there you go. You can really see that gold shine. Well, she did it on this piece, but then she also, let me get my low-tack tape out of the way. You can see on the card, she did that, that process that I just did on another piece and just did the center area, or you could do the whole thing and then just go back and trim it. And she did the same thing with the wax, the gold wax on the edges, and then foam taped this over the matching art. Then to get those bursts of color in the middle, she used our fine line gold marker. Now we also have a silver one, and we have a copper one that's not quite as fine tipped, but the gold and the silver are fine tipped. And simply went in and just did those starbursts in the center of her hydrangeas. And it just gives such a beautiful look, absolutely gorgeous. Now to do the bottom area, so this is the one that she used on the front. Here is another paper from that same cardstock collection, the Wildflowers and Wildlife, and you can see it has all of those leaves. Well, she took the bottom part of her stencil, which mine right now is wet, so I'm not going to bring it out, but you remember what it looks like. And she drew within the lines of it, and then she went back and went over those lines with a dull green marker. This happens to be a tri-blend marker, so you can use anything that you like, and just went over those lines. In fact, you can see that right here. And she also did some of the gold wax on top of that, cut it out, and then positioned it with foam tape onto her card. Isn't that lovely? Now, I don't know that you would really see all of those steps when you're looking at the card, but wow, when it's all put together, it's just lovely, just absolutely lovely. And I think it's just great techniques to be using together. Now, the Grateful for You, that is in the cutouts that's in that card also. Then on the inside, if you want to stencil a little bit of that hydrangea, oh, maybe in a corner, that would be a fun idea. And write your message. So just gorgeous. And this is what I mean when I say that the patterned cardstock just gives such depth to the finished design. Okay, let me show you more. Okay, here's our second card that Lene made using the same stencil. And this time it is on a tent fold card. This is a slim line. Comes like this in a package of 10 cards and 10 envelopes. And it's called a tent because the fold is at the top and it will stand up like a tent, just like that, okay? Now, I love what she's done, and I think it's really fun that she used some hydrangea patterned papers. Looks like this, Hydrangea Heaven. They are 12 by 12, And the one that she chose is a purple stripe. Now, it has hydrangeas in it too, and I love how she's done this with that hydrangea getting cut off. Now, normally I think you kind of think, gee, how am I going to position this where the whole thing would show? Well, you could, as you can see right there, but it kind of looks artsy a little bit just to have it cutting off. And let me show you how she did that. So she took her card, put adhesive on it, and then positioned the paper so that she got the hydrangeas on the left, down at the bottom, and then pressed it down, turned it over, and trimmed it to fit, okay? That's the other side of the paper. Now, it is a 12 by 12. I just happen to have this section of it. And what I love that she did is she took the stencil, and we're just going to pretend that this is the piece that is trimmed, and placed it so that it was going over the hydrangeas right there, the printed ones. And you will notice that on the card how you can see through the ink, and you can see through it with the stripes, and that's a good thing. So it works very, very nicely. So she inked that and used, this is the khaki ink, and she used a dauber, like this, a finger dauber, to apply that. And notice that she used extra coverage in the center and at the bottom to make that darker so that it was lighter on the edges. So that worked nicely. So first she did the khaki with the stem and leaf, okay? Then she moved her stencil down and brought her hydrangea so that it hit the stencil and the leaves. And then she used 2 inks, and I'm just going to show you that quickly. So I'm just going to put my paper there, and that low-tack tape really helps. It just keeps everything together. Okay, so she did this using 2 different blue ink pads. We're going to start with the electric blue, and we're going to use the dauber, just the same way that Lene did. And just going to go over all of it, okay? Now I'm just going to do, as I said before, just one little section. And, well, actually, yes, I will just do one little section, but I'll go from the center outside, okay? And again, you just want to, now this is a brand new electric blue, so it's very juicy. You want to make sure that that's really doing a nice job, okay? Now, I'm going to then use Prussian blue, which is a deeper blue. That electric is very nice and bright, but if you want to get some dimension, with the khaki, remember we added more color to make it darker. Well, in this case, we're just using a different colored ink to make it darker. And so I'm just going to put that in the middle area. I'm just going to do a little bit and let you see how that does. Okay, so can you tell that it is darker there? Yeah, so that's just very, very simple and a really nice way to do it. So I'm going to tuck these to the side. I'm going to just move my stencil and put it back in the water bath because Lene did something else. So she took our next stencil, and this is the Flutter. Okay, there you go. And you see all of these silhouette butterflies? Well, she used those with the 2 inks and just did them solidly, just as they are. So you can, you don't have to just keep to one stencil. You get to play with them. And if you want to, you can turn them over and just have them go right around your hydrangea. Now she also added some jewel dazzles, and these are circles. There are 3 sizes on one sheet. There are 540 on one sheet, and she positioned them just around the center area into each of those petals. And you know, hydrangeas are just a full mass of lots of petals. I love hydrangeas. She also has sending smiles down below, and that is another set of Dazzles. Dazzles are our brand of stickers, and this is a package that has gold, and it has, let's see, black, white, gold, and silver sheets, so 4 sheets. They all have Sending Smiles in different fonts and different sizes, and she's placed that down at the bottom. So she has a very lovely card going on. Very easily done, too. You just need to know have the tools and play a little bit, okay? Now I have more to show you with that Flutter stencil. Now here's another very striking card, and this is using our Flutter stencil and lots of different things. Now in this case, Debbie made the background. Let me show you how she did that. And she used, this is just white cardstock, and I'm going to start with Prussian blue ink pad, but this time I'm going to tap it onto my craft mat, just like this, so that I get a coverage. And I'm using a water brush. Now you could use a paintbrush and dip it in water. I like the water brush because it contains the water inside. And so I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to squeeze right here to release some of the water. And I'm just going to mix it. And we want to just go over the cardstock a bit, okay? So just like so, just to get some color going on. Now I'm just going to work in this top area because I want to show you some things down here, okay? So I did that with the Prussian blue. Then I'm going to do the same thing with teal. And same process, people. Just squeeze, get a little bit, and you can see that we're just going over some of the areas, not the whole thing, because we want to have multiple colors showing. The last color is orchid. Okay, so Prussian blue, teal, and orchid. You might remember that as a nice combination. And same thing, just going to get a little bit of water and pick it up and add some. So you can see each time it adds more depth to the piece, okay? Just do that all the way over. Now, she did add extra Prussian blue around the edges. That's perfectly great. You can do that with the water brush, or you could go back and do a blending brush, whichever you like. Now, let's get into those butterflies, because that's really fun. You know, I think I had better wipe this off because I don't want to get my white sweater into that ink. Just let me pause here for a moment. We'll get that cleaned off. And I'm done with my water brush, so I'm just going to clean off the brush part of it, just give it a whack, and put the lid back on it. Okay, now we're set with that. Now the next tool I'm going to need is my palette knife. And I'm going to take the stencil, and you can see on the card that that Debbie has turned it over. So I'm going to just do exactly what she did. I'm going to put this down with the low-tack tape just to hold it in place. And I'm just going to be working on one of these butterflies. And what I'm using are some Astro Pastes. Now these have interesting names. Clear Skies isn't bad, but we're going to get some different ones. And it is a glittery paste. We're going to use the palette knife. Now I don't want to cover the whole butterfly, so I just want to get some of the paste for part of it. Okay, so we'll scoop this out. Okay. And then place it down, and then you just want to get it into some of the areas, okay? And you want to do just exactly what I'm doing, so you want to hear that scraping, because you want to have it so that it's only going into the stencil and not sitting on top. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting this in random areas because we're going to be using two other of the Astro Pastes. Okay, now this is Clear Skies. You can kind of see that it's blue. Then we're going to go into Tropical Tango. Okay, And it's kind of the colors that she used when she did the card itself. So I'm going to go in here, oops, and get a little bit more of the tango. And I'm going to place that, let's see, we'll just scoop it, oh, maybe on the antenna, a little bit down here, and just work that in. Now with the paste, you want to make sure that they stay nice and moist. So you don't want to leave them open and to dry out in any way, shape, or form. And sometimes it's a good idea just to put a bit of water before you put them back into the container. So that will work. Looks like this one's become a little dried out, but we'll make it work. Okay, so that's 2 colors. And the last one is called Prom Queen. So it is a pink. Let me make sure I'm not shifting this too much. And we'll get this in here. And the Prom Queen is just a sparkly pink. And all of these have the glitter in them. So they are that shade. Now what's going to happen with this is that because I have so much Prom Queen, it's going to be a little more pink maybe than what she did on her card. But same idea, you just want to get it over the piece so that it's going to fill those areas of the stencil. And you hear that scraping sound. That's exactly what you want. Then you can return the excess to the container, just like that. Now, I wasn't careful about cleaning off my palette knife between colors, but you'll forgive me for that, won't you? Okay, let's see how this turned out. And look at that. Let's get in nice and close so that you can see the colors and what they're doing. Now, this is going to dry very sparkly, so that's kind of fun. But I think that it's really such a good idea to kind of mix your colors. Now, let me show you what Debbie's were. She had a little bit more of her blue skies. I've got more of my Prom Queen, but either one is fine. Now, let me show you, I'm going to return this to its place. Notice I did not take all of my low tack tape off. And I want to show you, actually I may end up moving the stencil. Yeah, let me just scoot this over because I want to show you what she did to some of the solid butterflies. So I'm just going to place it there. And let me clean off my palette knife. Very handy to have water nearby. It really is. Okay, now this is something new for us. This is Hunky Dory's texture paste, and it's glitter. And there are, I think, 4 colors, but this is the glitter blue. And this is what Debbie used. So, in fact, she has left that lid on. And I'm just going to scoop that out and wait till you see what this looks like. It's just gorgeous. And I've got way too much on there. But I want to show you. Okay. It was on so easily. And, oops, I missed part of my little butterfly. Okay. So that's why you do not lift up your entire stencil until you have a chance to double check it. Okay. So you can see what's happening is that it's just filling in those little shadows. And there is my little blue ones. Just so pretty. Look at that. Already it's sparkly. So you can see, and let me go back to the card that Debbie made. I'm going to pop this into my water bath because we're going to use that stencil again. So here we have all of this. So you can see the background that we did first, and then she did do some extra blue, Prussian blue around the edge, and then the glittery 3 of them using the 3 Astro Brights, and then the solid blue glitter around the edge. And I think that this also comes in green, gold, silver. Or I think there's a red in there somewhere. Maybe it's 5 colors, but you'll see it. And her card is 6 by 6, and she did put it onto a card that was covered in the blue mirror cardstock. Isn't that gorgeous? And some of the white card is showing just underneath it too. So isn't that gorgeous? Oh, the Congrats and Celebrate, those are out of the Script Blue Dazzles. It looks like I forgot to pull that, but you can see there are 3 sheets and they have all the words in script. So you've got happy birthday, I love you, missing you, get well, all sorts of things. But there we go, we have that right there. So just gorgeous. Okay, I have one more card for you. Okay, we have another look at our Flutter stencil, and let me show you what Lene has done. So we have our 5 by 6.5 inch card, which is the standard size that we use. And Lene noticed that there has this little scallop on the edge of the stencil, and she used it really well. Now, I know this isn't going to show up very well because it's white on white, but just to give you an idea. So she placed it about 1/4 inch from the edge of the card and used a, let's see, she used a dauber. Okay, so where are my daubers? Where are they? They're right here. Let me pull one out. And used lipstick. This is the light pink, and just daubed right with it, just along the edge, did that edge, then kept it taped down so it's not moving like mine is, and went along this side, did the bottom, and did that side, all in the pink. So that worked nicely. Now, she also did something different with her butterflies. So I want to show them to you because she did them twice. She did them once on her card, but then she did a second one out of another piece of cardstock using the same colors, which is the lipstick and then tangerine, and those were used on the wings. And then she used tiger orange for the center of the butterflies, as you can see, okay? And then she cut these out. So she did them flat on the card, but then she cut them out of a separate piece of paper. And in order to do the antenna, now the antenna is part of the stencil, as you can see. So she used Post-it notes when she was getting ready to do those antenna, and just taped off, just so that she was sure not to get any of the black onto the other parts of the butterfly. And she used a black ink pad. This happens to be the Tuxedo Black, and inked those, dabbing them with the dabbers. That way it kept that color set. When it was dry, she went over it with the Wink of Stella glitter brush. Now, if we can get in close, I want you to be able to see the shine. And isn't that nice? So all you do with this little puppy is you just go over it. It's just, you don't do anything special, you just go over it. And she went over the bodies of both the butterflies that she used. After she had cut them out, she attached them using the extra sticky tape just on the back side of the body, popped it down over the image that was on her card, and did the same thing with that one. So she has 2 butterflies that are just fluttering quite nicely. And she did kind of the same idea that was done in the last card, except this time with the lipstick. And so she used the shadow butterflies and have them floating throughout her card. Then she did a very light color of the lipstick pink, just to make an area. Now you could do that popping this onto your craft mat, and then using the water brush just to get a very light shadow there. Now she did use a stamp, and this is the stamp set, It's called Happy Hello, Love and Thanks. So it has happy hello, love and thanks, and then all kinds of words that are used to finish that phrase. So hello from across the miles, hello with lots of love, sending hello, hello there. So lots of things. Now in this case, she used hello from across the miles. So she pulled those off individually. Let me do that, just in case you're not familiar with stamping. But I do want to tell you that we have a whole new series starting this week that's called Stamping with Sarah. And Sarah Newman is going to do that for us. And she is doing a technique every week. She'll do that once a month. And then there will also be a money saver, and there will also be a subscription. So you can do all of that. So you're just going to pull your stamp off the backing acetate. And now you can put this onto an acrylic block, or you can put it onto a MISTI. And I'll show you what the MISTI looks like just so that you're aware of it. It is a stamping tool. It has quite revolutionized things. And I'm just going to put my cardstock on this area, and I'm going to hold it in place with the magnets. There are a couple of magnets right here. Now, you put your stamp wherever you want it to be. So in this case, I think our hello was about there. So you position it, and then you close this, push, and that's going to lift it up. And then you can do your ink pad and just do it like that, and turn it over and press it down. Why is this so amazing for stampers? Well, I'll tell you. Because if you didn't get a complete image, or maybe you want it darker, you can stamp it again and you will be perfectly positioned. No surprises, perfect every time. And that's really a nice thing. So I'll leave my hello right there and take it off in a minute. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Now you can get acrylic blocks, and we have those on order. So if this is a look that you like, there's an easy way to do it. So I'm going to go back to my stencil and just kind of let you see it all together. I think that it's easy to miss that little pink shadow, and I think it was really nice that she did that there. Okay, now we are all done with our stencils, and let me bring them all back for you. I'll be right back. Okay, to wrap up, this is what we have used. We've done lots of different techniques and shown you some different ways that you can really take advantage of these. And it's not all that you can do, it's just a start of what you can do. So you can take your hydrangeas and you can turn them over or not. You can use them fully, and you can layer them and add some gold wax or some marker. You can put them on cardstock that's patterned, and you can add different colors. You can do the butterflies and make your own background. Showed you how. Love the shiny butterflies. And we also have some flittering with another bit of shine on them. So lots of things that you can do. There is a money saver. Both of these are over on the right-hand side of your screen. We also, over on the right-hand side, have this subscription. We'll get in close so you can really see this. Every month we will have at least 2 stencils. You will get a discount as you get both of them, and you will get a free goodie. So that's really nice. The cost is $15 per month, and members will receive their stencils ahead of the webisode. So you get a chance to look at them and kind of play with them if you want to, or you could wait for the webisode. Now this is what we have for this month, and every month we will have at least two new ones. Sometimes we've had 4, sometimes we've had 3, but you're always guaranteed to have 2. More importantly, you're going to have 4 different ways to use those stencils, and that's really the best part of it. Okay, so if you are interested in this, just head on over, just click on the right-hand side of your screen. And each of the cards is showing down below, so you can see what the designers used. and you can have a chance to just play with those. So really fun. I want to thank Lene and Debbie for sharing their creativity with us and all those fun new products. I want to thank you especially for being part of our Paper Wishes family. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we hope that you'll like us, but then head on over to Paper Wishes, because that's the only place you can see all of this together. Thank you, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.